Hello and welcome back. I'm Reverend Dr. Robert Baines, and I'm excited to be able to share with you this material. We are continuing in this course, Work on Your Discipleship. This module deals with how to deal with trouble. This particular lesson deals with bad habits. As we continue our course on Work on Your Discipleship, we've come to the module on how to deal with trouble. No matter how hard you try, you can expect some trouble in your life. Do you have scriptures and principles nearby? This module of teaching aims to equip you to handle some predictable troubles in your life when you have bad habits. Read Romans chapter 7, verse 21. It says, "So I find this law at work. Although I want to do good, evil is right there with me." Matthew 26:41 says, "Watch and pray so that you may not fall into temptation. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak." Being a Christian doesn't mean that you have stopped doing all of the bad things you used to do. Some of us speak the words of Romans 7 and Matthew 26 with personal connections. Please consider the following if you find yourself wrestling with bad habits. For example, smoking, getting drunk or high, sex outside of marriage, excessive gambling, excessive spending, etc. Number one, mindset. Philippians chapter 4, verse 13 says, "I can do all this through him who gives me strength." Proverbs 4:23 says, "Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it." It is important to remember that you can change. No matter the nature of the bad habit or how long you have been involved in it, through Christ you can change. Philippians 4:13. If you don't really believe this point, all of your work will be in vain. Proverbs 4:23 urges you to guard your heart or your mind. Carefully review the material on when your mind is messed up. So remember that previous lesson on when your mind is messed up. Number two, what are you getting out of it? At some level, you are receiving something that you want from the bad habit. Prayerfully and honestly determine what that is. It may be pleasure, excitement, or a sense of being free, but you're getting something out of the bad habit. Find out what that is. Number three, how can you get it differently? Now, work hard to find a better way of getting what you want. Searching the internet, reading, talking with others, and prayerfully considering all of the information can help you come up with some alternatives. And sometimes the alternative may not be as satisfying as the bad habit, but it is satisfying enough, especially when you factor in the pain and risks of the bad habit compared to the lack thereof with the replacement. For example, an example may not, an apple may not be as satisfying as a candy bar. However, an apple can be satisfying enough when you consider the damage caused by too much sugar and the benefits of fresh fruit. There may even be times when you have to manage a bad habit until you can replace it. Think about a 2-drink limit as you wrestle with the overconsumption of alcohol. Think about cutting back on junk food as you work to eliminate it from your diet. Number four, references, leverage, and focus periods. What I mean by reference is something that supports a truth, a passage of scripture, advice from an expert, life experiences, and the like can be references. What I mean by leverage is what emotional pain or pleasure can be associated with your habit work. All of us want to avoid pain and gain pleasure. In fact, it seems that we do more to avoid pain than to gain pleasure. For example, thinking about how healthy eating will help you have enough health to enjoy the fruits of your labor and grandchildren would be positive emotional leverage. Thinking about how unhealthy eating will contribute to you being too broke down and sickly to travel and be around loved ones like you want to is an example of negative emotional leverage. What I mean by focus period is designating some period of time to develop and or review your references and leverage points regarding your habit work. With all of the above in mind, try taking at least 15 minutes a day for the next 30 days to write a list of references related to why you should stop the bad habit, why you should work on a replacement habit. Make a list of the emotional negatives related to continuing with the bad habit. Make a list of the emotional positives related to replacing the bad habit with a better alternative. Review your lists as a means of feeding the replacement habit that you are working on. Number 5 is support. Studying helpful resources, having accountability partners, and journaling can be beneficial. Seeking professional help may be a great option as well. So here are our review and discussion questions. What is the aim of this How to Deal with Trouble module? How many points are listed above, and how many scriptures were listed above? All right, let's go back here and see. So the aim, this module of teaching aims to equip you to handle some predictable troubles in your life, right? That's the aim of the module. How many scriptures? 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 scriptures, right? And then we have 5 points. All right, so 5 points are listed above and the 6 scriptures. Which point or two do you find most helpful as you work on your discipleship? Explain. All right, so this is where you would do your personal reflection. If we were in a coaching session or if we were in a group, we would have opportunity to share this together. All right, and so this lesson has been about bad habits. We know that no matter how saved we are, all of us are still struggling with something. And so how do we deal with that? We work on our mindset. We look at what are we getting out of it, and we try to find ways to replace it with something more positive, more helpful. We use references, leverage, and focus periods to get our minds focused on doing the right thing. And then we seek support as we try to live by the better habit. All right, I pray that this has been a blessing to you. I'll look forward to seeing you in the next session.